Hello, today is World Pharmacist Day, and I'm chatting to my colleague Kathryn Griffiths about what it is to be a pharmacist and the role of a pharmacist. I always knew that I wanted to be a pharmacist right from high school, and it was a career journey that I wanted to take. Kathryn, could you talk to me a little bit about why you wanted to become a pharmacist?
Yeah, mine's quite similar, Fozia, I think. I wanted to be a pharmacist from high school. I think my granddad had said something about, oh, it's a good job for women because you can go and have babies and come back and locum. I thought, oh, yeah, job security, that's good. But I was always interested in science and I wanted to be a forensic scientist initially, and then spoke to someone who was a forensic scientist who said, oh, you just stick test tubes in computers. It's really boring. So that put me off that. And I thought, pharmacy would be yeah, like an interesting mix of sciences and things. So like you, kind of from high school, really. Yeah, what was your career pathway once you were qualified?
So I started off as a locum community pharmacist in West Yorkshire area, and I worked all over different community pharmacies. I then went on to work for Boots, which is a large community pharmacy. After that, so I spent about 10 years in community pharmacy. After that, I went quite different. I went to a job interview at a primary care trust, which was Wakefield Primary Care Trust, and I got a job working in the medicines management team, and did that for 3 years. And at that point, the primary care trusts were then being abolished, and I got transferred to Spectrum Community Health. I had a choice actually. I could have gone to Mid Yorkshire Hospital Trust, but I decided to go with Spectrum because I liked the fact that I would still be able to work with prisons, which I'd
Mm.
been doing in the primary care trust. And 2011, I transferred over to Spectrum, and I've been with them ever since, which was 14 years altogether. And what
Great.
about yourself, Catherine?
I've jumped around a bit. I pre-registered with community working for Boots, but then I was just constantly being sent to non-contract stores and purely giving over-the-counter kind of sales as medicines advice and not really doing any proper pharmacy as I felt it was at the time. Um, So I hospital as the rotational pharmacist. That was down in Bath, and then did some quite interesting stuff around like care of the elderly and palliative care when I was working there, which was really good. I love the palliative care stuff. But then my husband at the time, his job moved, and we moved up north to Manchester, and I got a job with the local PCT, and worked there for a while, and then having had the experience of medicines management, I then got a job at one of the Manchester Hospital Trusts working in medicines management. But again, I wanted to be a bit more kind of clinical and a bit faster paced than the job at the PCT had been, which I enjoyed. So I worked with the hospital trust for a number of years doing very similar to what your job is now, like PGDs and policies and that kind of stuff, and looking at how we could um, improve medicines management on the wards. And we rolled out like ward-based meds management technicians and things like that, which was really good. And then there was the reorganisation in 2013, and I chose to go and work with CSU, Commission Support Unit, and carry on doing meds management work there out in the community. I worked supporting the local area prescribing committee and things, GMMG. But after a number of years there, I just wanted to be a bit more operational again. And following COVID, when I'd had the opportunity, we'd all been redeployed to work in a vaccine centre. I'd really enjoyed being much more patient facing again, again a bit sort of a bit busier really. So then I'd learnt from one of my colleagues at the vaccine centre about prison work, as because it hadn't been on my radar before at all. So then I found this job at Spectrum and came over here, and it's been fantastic. I've loved it, absolutely loved it. Yeah, very
Brilliant.
rewarding work.
Brilliant, Catherine. That sounds like a
Yeah.
really varied career journey. And yeah, in Spectrum, a typical day of mine will be starting at 8 o'clock, and logging on, looking at obviously emails and looking at what's coming on the day in terms of queries from medicines management queries. I also deal a lot with the policies, PGDs and guidances. So no 2 days are the same. It's very varied and um, there's lots of interesting factors to the job. I love my job, and I don't know about yourself, Kathryn, but I find it quite rewarding. In terms of
Yeah,
we're looking, even though I'm not directly seeing patients, I'm working to patient safety and to governance principles. So I don't know what your typical day looks like. I go out to the prisons as well, and I also am the authorised witness for the organisation. I go out to do site visits and destroy controlled drugs. So I enjoy that aspect of the job as well, getting out and about and linking in with sites.
yeah, I love the variety, like you say, of the job.
Yeah.
It's working on sites. If I'm on a site day, I'll try and get there as early as I can, as for when they're starting. But I've got to often take children to school and things as well. So, um, but we do, clinical checking at the site, do some of the governance and assurance checks. So sometimes I'll cover and work as the pharmacist, or sometimes I'm going in as the regional pharmacist and doing assurance checks and looking to make sure that everything's running in the best way on site, and see what support I can offer to the site teams, make sure they're ready for CQC inspections and things like that, so we don't get any surprises at that point. Um, if I'm having a kind of an office day, and it's lovely that I get the flexibility to work at home and have that kind of hybrid working option. So then I might be dealing with complaints or queries. I might have queries from a site around how to manage a particular patient, so I can log on and check that. I might be working on some guidelines or supporting you with something. We've got meetings like medicines management. So yeah, it's lovely the variety of it. And like yesterday, I did a clinic at one of the sites, and I made like five really, really kind of meaty interventions with patients,
Oh,
with different patients.
excellent.
And it's lovely because it feels like you're really, potentially helping those individuals, and you can really see the impact of the work, but the impact of the work that we do at sort of Spectrum organisationally as well.
Yeah.
When you're in the site, you see how that's being implemented, and you see the changes it's making in improving patients' lives and improving the quality of the services that we give. So I really like that it's all very relatable and tangible. And I think the size of organisation that Spectrum is, it is easy to see that kind of feed down from the corporate level into the sites. It's really nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that I
do like
agree,
that.
Catherine. I think that's fantastic way of looking at it, because patient safety is our number one priority, and I think not everybody knows what a pharmacist does and what they get involved in, and our jobs are so varied and so rewarding. We enjoy working with medicine our medicine management colleagues, and also the wider teams such as the nursing and quality team, and the teams on site as well. So the sexual health that we get involved in, sexual health services, and alcohol and drug and services as well. So
Mhm.
it's fantastic, and I'd like to wish everybody, all the pharmacists, uh, happy World Pharmacist Day, and I'm sure you will as well, Catherine.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Happy World
yeah,
Pharmacist Day, everyone.
yeah, and I hope you've enjoyed our little video. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.